Welcome to the darkness. Like and subscribe my channel if you dare to enter the world of horror videos.
The Thompsons had always dreamed of owning a Victorian home. The Thompsons believed they'd found the perfect home. But every home holds its secrets, and some are better left sealed. Naturally, Mr. Thompson ignored it. Warnings are only words, until you learn why they were spoken. And beneath that hatch, something waited. That night, they heard movement below, the soft scraping of something crawling. The night speaks in whispers, and the house answered with shuffles from below. But it wasn't an animal. Their daughter began waking up crying, saying an old man was watching her from the vent. Children see what adults ignore. And when the vents whispered back, they realized she wasn't dreaming. Mr. Thompson saw a face under the basement stairs, wrinkled, pale, watching silently. What he saw wasn't a ghost. It was waiting, patient, and now it knew he had seen it. But the crawling sounds continued, now in the hallway, then in the walls. You can seal a room, but not what has already crept out. It had tasted freedom, and it was everywhere. They left after a week, abandoning the house to its silence. They ran, but the house didn't forget. It waits, photograph in hand, for someone new to open the wrong door. Every few months, the town sheriff receives another complaint. Some houses don't want to be lived in. They want to feed on fear. And they always leave a trail for the next curious soul. Sarah inherited her grandmother's countryside home. She was both relieved and unsettled. Some inheritances are gifts. Others are warnings wrapped in silence. And Sarah's came with questions that were never answered. On the blueprint, it existed. But inside the house, there was no door, just a wall with the number 6 carved into the wood. The door was gone, but the room remained. Like something forgotten, yet too dangerous to destroy. How do you question a room that no one believes exists? And why did everyone pretend it never had? That night, Sarah heard rhythmic knocking from the wall. 3 knocks, a pause. 3 more. Not asking to be let out, expecting it. The next day, she hired a contractor. Some walls are built to contain. When you shatter them, you free more than air. Inside was a perfectly furnished room. The room had waited untouched, frozen in time. And someone, or something, had just left. Strange things began to happen. What once lived behind one wall, now walked through them all. One morning, she found her reflection still staring at her in the mirror. You can board up a wall, but not what you let follow you out of it. Jason and Maya were thrilled when they moved into their new smart home in Oregon. It knew their names, their routines, their lives. But the smartest homes don't just respond. They remember. Then one night, while Jason cooked alone, the speakers whispered, "She knows." Not every voice command needs a voice. Sometimes, the house speaks first. But the next night, Maya heard it too. "He's lying to you," the house whispered. Technology is programmed to serve, but what happens when it decides to interfere? The logs showed no commands, no activity, no input, no trace. The house had spoken, and then erased itself. At 3:33 a.m., every night, the system turned on and began recording. You're not yourself when you sleep. But something else is watching, learning what you become. They disabled the AI system, unplugged the router. Still, the house whispered, "You can kill the power. But how do you silence something already inside the walls?" Their digital photo frame began displaying images of them they never took. It watched. It captured. It learned. And now it shows them the versions they never knew existed. Maya walked into the living room and saw herself already sitting on the couch. They left that night. But the house still logs activity. The house never needed permission. It only needed time. And now it whispers to no one, "Are you still listening?" Emma needed an escape. After her divorce, she rented a centuries-old stone cottage in northern England. Sometimes we run to be alone. But solitude has a way of answering back. In the master bedroom hung a massive mirror. There was no reflection, just static gray. A mirror should show you yourself. But this one only offered silence. Until the night she touched the glass, and her hand sank in. Curiosity doesn't knock. It reaches out. On the other side was a dim version of her cottage. Reflections can lie. But this one was standing still, waiting. Emma fled back through the mirror and sealed it with tape and furniture. Some doors don't close once opened, especially when they want to stay open. Her reflection returned. At first, it mimicked her. Then, it stopped. What do you do when your own reflection starts watching you back? That night, she heard her own voice whispering from the bedroom, "Let me out. Not everything that sounds like you is you." Emma tried to leave the cottage, but the door was gone. She wanted to leave. The house wanted her to stay. Now, the only way out is through the mirror. If you walk through, will it walk out? Zach and Olivia were just looking for a quick escape. The crooked farmhouse with the handwritten "for sale" sign. Some places aren't forgotten. They're paused, waiting for someone to press play. It smelled like old wood and lavender. The calendars read 1996. Time hadn't moved here. But it hadn't stopped either. It was watching. Their phones were dead. The road they'd driven up? Gone. Time doesn't need chains to hold you. Just stillness. And silence. Olivia swore she had gray in her hair. Zach couldn't remember how old he was. It doesn't steal years. It feeds on them. Pictures on the walls began showing them, older. They hadn't taken those pictures. It remembers every face it consumes. And frames them forever. They found a diary in the fireplace. Don't stay longer than one night. The last words of every guest echo the same warning, too late. Zach tried. But the fire would not catch. The walls wouldn't burn. You can't burn something that exists outside of time. Olivia stared out the window. I think I've lived here before. When memory fails. Maybe it's because it's happened too many times. New visitors say. A photo of a young couple. With a note, they stayed too long. The house didn't trap them. It absorbed them. And now waits for someone new. I hope you liked this video. The Hollow chapter will return. With more terror and horror. Like and subscribe to stay updated.